Okay, so yesterday I was talking about the value of renunciation, or the determination to be free from cyclic existence. And in the three principal aspects of the path, this one comes first, before bodhicitta. And so there's several reasons for this. The primary one is that to have great compassion, which is a precursor to bodhicitta, then we need to see we need to have renunciation not only for ourselves, but for all other sentient beings. In other words, great compassion isn't just for the dukkha of pain that suffering, that sentient beings go through, but it's for all three sufferings, all three kinds of dukkha, okay, of pain, of change, and of conditioned, pervasive dukkha. Okay, so to have that kind of great compassion, then you have to have meditated on those three kinds of dukkha, and that comes when you're generating renunciation. Okay, that clear? Then another reason is, if you look to have great compassion, which again is the precursor to bodhicitta, it's not the same thing as bodhicitta, then you need equanimity. In other words, we need to overcome the mind that holds some beings dear and other beings distant, that has attachment to some and aversion to others and apathy towards a whole other group. So we need to have a much more balanced mind to develop great compassion for all beings. Now, to have that kind of balanced mind that's free of attachment and aversion and apathy towards sentient beings, then you can see where renunciation is important in that respect, because renunciation is the determination to overcome attachment and aversion and apathy. Okay? And to have renunciation, we need to get beyond the 8 worldly concerns. The 8 worldly concerns is the basic, actually it's like a precursor to actual renunciation. That's already hard enough, isn't it, 8 worldly concerns? But you can see how the 8 worldly concerns are so tied up with attachment and aversion to other sentient beings, aren't they? You know, because we want to hear nice, sweet, ego-pleasing words, and we don't want to hear criticism. We want approval, we don't want disapproval, and we want reputation, and we don't want, you know, we want a good reputation, we don't want to be, you know, have a bad one. And so all that is involved with the 8 worldly concerns. And all of that is definitely going to prevent us from having equanimity from sentient beings, isn't it? You know, because when we want sweet, ego-pleasing words, we're definitely going to be biased, you know, aren't we? You know, and when we don't like criticism and unpleasant words, we definitely have aversion and bias in the mind. Okay? And so here's another reason why we work on renunciation first, you know, as a primary thing. Now, in saying that we work on renunciation first, it doesn't mean that we only work on renunciation and we never do the bodhicitta meditations. Not at all. Okay? I think it's very healthy and very productive for us to do all the different Lamrim meditations, yet at the same time maybe emphasize the ones at the beginning, because those are the ones that are more crucial to us at this moment. Okay? But still, we meditate on all of them because they all are very, very interconnected. And the more you study and contemplate Lamrim, the more you see how meditating, it's not only meditating on the earlier ones help the latter ones, but meditating on the latter ones also help your meditation on the earlier ones in the series.